you know, as someone who's starting and trying to commit a certain amount of time to this, like a couple hours per week, I think that there's a lot of lessons that I'm learning, and I just want to share those lessons. So if anyone else wants to get into this, or if you're like intimidated by it, you can see that there are paths that you can take to learn how to fly FPV drones, and that you don't have to be like super skilled right out the gate. But as I've just continued to try and fly for at least an hour a week, I have gotten considerably better, but still not good. I do actually want to show you guys my first flight. I have my brother on the line, so I'm going to bring him in a second. So this is my very first time actually getting the drone to arm. You can see I'm just here in my bedroom, and yeah, I've got the fan going, lots of things that I learned from this, but I was trying to like record my whole experience. So I have some of this footage I need to share with you guys. But yeah, I get up in the air and then immediately crash. So this is basically just a gear check. You can see I have that controller in my hand. I have the headset on my face. And this is the tiny little drone that I have at the time to start. And again, I just like went straight up in the air and fell because I had no idea what I was doing. And I counted this as like a huge win for me. Getting into droning was kind of intimidating because there wasn't a direct path that you take. There are what they call RTF, or like ready to fly bundles, where you get the controller, you get the headset and the drone. But I had a unique experience to buy my very first drone, this little guy, the Acrobee, from Mr. Steele, who's one of the bigger names in the community. So I took that opportunity, bought this drone, but that meant that I had to go out and find my own controller and my own headset and kind of piece this thing together. So the reason I said that that was a win was because I didn't even know if all of these pieces were going to work together. I had done my research and I had put you know, my best foot forward trying to learn all this stuff, but it wasn't a guarantee that I was just going to be able to turn this on. Oh, sorry about that. And that this was all going to work. So that's why I counted that as just a huge win for myself. If we watch a little bit more of this first time I flew, you can pick it up. I like have to like figure out some stuff. I think I didn't put the antennas on top of my headset, so I actually go ahead and do that. Yeah, you can see I'm screwing them in, and then I go for the second flight. I don't think the antennas changed anything, to be 100% honest with you, but I was just like, oh yeah, this is one more piece I forgot to put together the puzzle because I was just excited to get up and fly. And then this is my second flight, so I get it to hover a little bit, I gun it, I get scared of hitting the fan, and actually the air from the fan pushed me down into the ground. So being able to fly in like a straight line, like this is, I don't know if this is the moment that like completely hooked me, but this definitely got me excited that I had the tools to go out and learn how to do this a little bit more. So those two crashes were the beginning of my FPV drone flying career, and I was extremely happy. I'm still looking back. I know this is only like 6 weeks ago, but it feels a little nostalgic looking back, like, oh my gosh, I really didn't know anything. But it was just so exciting to know that like these pieces of the puzzle that I got actually fit together. So this first clip, just so you guys know, was I actually got these batteries that I have, which we'll link to everything that I've bought so far in the description below. But I was able to get the batteries, but I didn't have a charger for the batteries because I didn't think about buying a charger for the batteries. So this first flight that I ever had, actually, if you look back, and I can show it again, if you look back at what's called the on-screen display, which I was calling a HUD, so that was another learning point that I just had. You can see that these batteries are at 3.7 volts when it's just sitting still. Oh, that's a bad place to pause. And 3.6 volts as soon as I start flying, which is basically dead. So they weren't charged at all. So I don't know if that affected my flying. It's really hard to tell because I was only in the air for half a second, so I don't think it made that big of a difference. But just something, another like little funny learning point of just like, I didn't even know that I had to buy a charger separately, and I wasn't patient enough to even wait for that charger to get there. I just wanted to like try flying. So that's kind of the level that I was at, just to paint a little bit clearer of a picture. So let's show this. This is the best of that first night that I was flying with the dead batteries and just getting everything going on. And this is not impressive at all. So, but this is what I was hyped up on. So this is actually... So my goal for the whole night was just to fly from this little ottoman to the bed. which is probably, I don't know, like 15 feet in a straight line. Like that's all I wanted to accomplish on the very first time trying to fly a drone. And you can see I'm veering to the left and the right. I almost hit Kate, my wife, who's filming this from a third person view. And then I hit the bed, but I don't actually land on it. And that was the best that it got out of all the footage that we had, was like that 3 seconds of flying. So again, just to paint the picture, like I knew absolutely nothing. I was just hyped that this thing was actually flying. So being able to somewhat fly in a straight line and not like smash it into the ceiling was a win for me.